Is that better now? Cool. Isn't that great? Cool. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to stop talking because it sounds terrible. Like, if you know me, stopping talking is not exactly in my repertoire. But I see so many cameras on. For those of you that are on pages 2 and 3, go ahead and turn your cameras on too if you're in a place that you can and do it safely and are not in the shower. That would be fantastic. So I can see your beautiful faces. And continue dropping in there like where you're coming in from. If you're I'm about to shake up some ketones. I need a third serving for today because it is hot. It is hot. And I need all the hydration possible. But we're so excited to be here. We're so excited for you to show up for yourself and to learn a couple, 2-3 things to take and apply to your businesses, take and apply to your communities, take and apply to your schedules, and just make some magic happen. So if you're down to get equipped, if you're down to learn, let me see you drop a 1 in the chat. Let me see them. If you're down to learn, look at those ones. It's like fireworks. It's the 4th of July every Zoom, and it just like fires me up. I don't know if you're fired. If you're fired up, drop a 1 in the chat. If you're excited to be a part of this community, drop a 1 in the chat. If you're excited to be alive, drop a 1 in the chat. If you're thankful that we get to do this together, drop a 1 in the chat. Tracy, I don't know if you're dropping 1s or not. Dara, I don't see your finger going. Like, let's go. Miss Heather, eye contact. Come on, Heather, drop them 1s. There we go. I love it. Well, again, my name's Carrie, and I don't live in the South. I live in Las Vegas. I've been drinking ketones for 4 years this week. Yesterday was my 4-year anniversary of the first time that I tasted a pack of Orange Dream, the 2.1 Jody, of ketones, and it had MCT in it. It was delicious. I took my brain lit up, and that started this catalyst. Now 4 years later, I get to be here with you. I get to sit in your living room, in your car, in your bathroom, in your office, on your porch, and be able to say, wow, in 4 years, look what's happened. In 4 years, we have all of these really exciting stories that have come up. But I just want to encourage you to have your notebook out. Be prepared to take some notes. We have some dynamite speakers coming up tonight to give you some high directive, to give you some dates, to give you some things to look forward to and things to encourage you with. And we're here for you for that. We're here for you to that. So if you're pumped, I want to see it. You drop it in the chat for our first presenter. This is someone I got to meet in golly, when did we meet, Jody? I can't even remember. I feel like I've just always known you at this point. Like it's like we've just been like in part, but I remember spending time with you on that catamaran there in Mission Bay, and along with Miss Donna, along with a whole bunch of other people. But this amazing human being, Jody Scheibe. I learn from her every single day that we get to talk, every single time she posts something. Like if you need somebody to copy on social media, she's a great person to be inspired when she posts. Like her stuff is on point. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to Miss Jody Scheibe from San Diego and just let you rip and roar and just love on all of us with knowledge. What's up, Jody?
Oh my gosh, Carrie. I mean, you know how to make a girl feel amazing or what? I mean, go ahead. I mean, stop. Come on, stop.
Stop it. Yes.
I love it. Thank you so much. For those of you who I have not had the privilege of meeting, my name is Jody Scheibe. I live in San Diego, California with my husband of almost 24 years, which is crazy. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome, for the love. I have 3 teenagers. You guys, my oldest is going to be 20 soon, so I'm going to have to change that narrative. I won't be able to say 3 teenagers, but I have 3 teenagers, boy, girl, boy, one away at college. It's rocking my world again this year. And I have been drinking and sharing ketones for, gosh, 4.5 years now. Never ever intended to do this business. I was laughing when Carrie said, oh, check out Jody's social media, because this girl had 150 Facebook friends when I found ketones. And it's definitely an area that I'm always constantly growing in and learning from everyone else. So that's why I was laughing. But how are you guys all doing tonight? There's 104 of us on here. This is so great. I'm so excited because when I started drinking ketones, and what I want to talk to you a little bit about tonight is how do you talk about your story with ketones, right? How many of you put in the chat, how many of you have experienced fat loss on this product? How many of you have experienced more energy on this product? How many of you put energy, sleep, focus, fat loss, right? Like we could probably all talk for an hour, maybe more, about all the benefits or our story on ketones. But what I want to teach you guys really quick, and then we're going to have a couple shares and you're going to kind of watch people go through this, is there's such a simple format that we can use. This is awesome. We've got energy, all of the above, focus, energy, sleep, weight loss, brain on fire. You guys, I've had like 3 ketones today. Let me tell you, like post-COVID brain is no joke. I probably need 2 more. Heather Adams nodding her head. Energy and sleep. But I'm going to teach you guys a really simple format. How many of you would love a simple way to share all the amazing things that have happened to you on this product in 60 seconds or less? How many of you would love it? I see Tracy's hand. I see Liz's hand. To share your, all the stuff you're loving about ketones. Let me ask you guys this. How many of you love that this is a business? How many of you love that we get paid every Friday? How many of you love even more this right here? All these smiling faces, this community. I mean, can I just get an amen that a lot of things feel freaking heavy right now? And the one thing that does not feel heavy is our Prove It community. These smiling faces, these people who love you, these people who are here for you, these people who are shouting and encouraging you on. How many of you want to share what it's like to be part of this community in 60 seconds with somebody? Because doesn't everybody need what we have right now? Okay, so this is why I'm so fired up, because there is such an easy, simple format. You guys could teach this to your 3-year-old. It's so simple. So when you're sharing your story, whether it's maybe you're meeting someone at the store, or maybe you are that social media whiz and you love putting the posts up on Facebook and you're thinking, gosh, where do I start to share my story? Where do I start? I just said shart. Who got that? I think that might be the second time I've done that on a Zoom. Where do you start to share your story? Okay, you guys, you got your notebook out? Here's the first way you start. Don't get me started about bathrooms. I have 3 bathrooms torn up. I still only have 1 toilet in my house. Okay, so here's how you start to tell your story. You guys ready? Who knows this? Before I. Oh my gosh, it's so simple. Before I. And if you're talking about your product story, it's going to be before I started drinking ketones. I was that tired mom who reached for coffee every day, right? So you're going to talk about what life was like before you started drinking the product. Now, remember how I said this can go for the business too? Use those same 2 words. Before I joined this community, I was a mom who literally went to 4 grocery stores on a budget every single week, counting every single penny. So the beginning of your story is always what life was like before. You guys got that? So simple. Before I started drinking ketones, I literally took a nap every single day. Before I joined this community, I had never met like-minded people who cheered me on for every single thing I did, right? So what was life like before you started drinking ketones? Were you grabbing all the sugar out of the pantry? Were you taking naps? Were you telling your kids later, tomorrow? Were you, not going on vacations because you didn't have the finances? Were you not putting your kids in dance? Like, were you not surrounded by people who believed in you? Think about life was like before. Everyone got that? Thumbs up. So before, product or story, right? Product, community, what was life before? Thanks, Carrie. Those are awesome notes. Okay, so the second part of your story, in telling your story, we have the before. Then we get to go to since I started drinking ketones, since I joined the Prove It community, since I started sharing these with others. See where I'm going here? So we already painted the picture for somebody about what our life was like before. Now we get to paint the picture. Hey, since I started drinking this, I don't drink 4 cups of coffee and a Monster energy drink every day. Since I started drinking these, I'm down 15 pounds of fat. Since I started drinking these, I sleep like a rock. I sleep like the husband who never hears the babies, right? Since I joined this community and started sharing ketones, I was able to put my kids in travel baseball. Since I started sharing this product, I was able to take my family on a vacation for the first time ever. Sleep like a teenager. Gosh, I need to start using that. Literally, he didn't wake up till 1 p.m. on Saturday, my 15-year-old. So that's since you're gonna describe to people, and this is like what I get really excited about, because how many of you are just like fired up about how you feel on ketones or how you feel making an extra $50 a week? You guys, my goal when I started sharing ketones was an extra $300 to $400 a month so I could put my boy in travel baseball, right? I had a husband who played professional baseball, and we told everyone, no, we're just giving him a break. No, that wasn't true. So if you've made $20 sharing ketones, if you're getting free ketones, that is power. That is power. You don't have to be a car earner. You don't have to have made $1,000. You could be brand spanking new and you got your free box of ketones. That's what you share. So I just want you guys to realize it doesn't have to be this major thing, right? Before I started sharing ketones, my kids' Halloween costumes were from the dress up bin every year. Since I started sharing ketones and I joined this business, I was able to take them to Party City to get a brand new costume. These are little things, you guys. How many people can relate to little things? Almost everyone. That's relatable, okay? So we've got before I, since I, and then the third and last part of your story is what I'm most excited about. Write that down. What I'm most excited about. So before I joined this business and started sharing ketones, I had to put $5 in my gas tank at a time. Coach Becca's story here. I know this story. Since she could probably fill up her tank of gas even in California. And that says a whole freaking lot right now, let me tell you. And I'm just filling in her story, but whatever. What I'm most excited about is that for the first time ever, I have a savings account for my kid. You know, what I'm most excited about is that I get to help other people also fill up their gas tank in California. What I'm most excited about, if we're talking about a product story, is that the benefits keep getting better and better. What I'm most excited about is that dress I never thought I could fit into. I'm wearing it this weekend. What I'm most excited about is that I have money to save for my kid's car when he starts driving. So you guys get the picture. What I'm most excited about is really one of my favorite parts too, because doesn't it allow you to dream a little bit? Like you can put some dreams in that, what I'm most excited about. And that gives me goosebumps. Like I promise every single one of you, all 116 of you, can't count myself here. I promise it to myself, but I promise every single one of you that the best is yet to come for you on the product, with our business, and with our community. So get fired up when you're talking about what you're most excited about. I don't care if you've been drinking ketones for 4 years or 6 years like Nick Martinez, or 4 days. I didn't see in the chat earlier because I was texting some people. I didn't see, maybe someone's been on here for 2 days. I promise you, your third and fourth day will be better. I see Sarah Ramos. She's been doing this for just about as long as I have. And I promise you, Sarah, guess what? The best is yet to come for us. So get fired up when you talk about it. So we've got before I, since I, and what I'm most excited about. And so I have a couple shares for you. I have just 3 people that are going to share their story in that format. Think about how amazing it is when someone asks you like, oh, what are you drinking? Why do you drink that? Why do you always have this shaker in your hand? Well, let me tell you, before I started drinking ketones, I was the crabbiest, crankiest mom ever. Like I literally couldn't get past 2 p.m. without coffee or energy drinks. Since I started drinking this stuff, I swear it's like liquid energy in a cup. It's like my brain lit up. And what I'm most excited about is, holy cow, my kids don't annoy me as much, right? Like I rattled that off in 30 seconds. That says a lot more to somebody. Hold on, teenagers keep blowing up my phone. That says a lot more than, oh, it's a powder and I mix it and I drink it and I feel good, right? You kind of painted what life was like before, since, and what you're most excited about. So Melissa, where are you? Let me see. Can you come off mute? She has, look, you guys, I wish we had longer. I'm Italian. I talked way longer than the 90 seconds Nick Martinez told me I had. I'm just so sorry about that, but I get fired up. This is important. And most of us are probably new, right? And if you, 4 years is still new. When you're 4 years old, you're not even in school yet as a child, as a baby, right? Like we're all newbies. So 6 months, that's awesome. But Melissa's product story is so amazing. And I'm like, Melissa, you have to be able to share this like this, boom, 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 boom. And she can, and she will, and she is going to, as soon as I find her.
I'm right here.
Awesome. What's up, Melissa? Thank you for hopping on. And if you could just share your product story in that format, before, since and what I'm most excited about.
Sure. So it's nice to meet everybody. I'm Melissa. I have been a member of the Prove-It community now for a few months. And so before ketones, my life was drastically different. I lived on the couch for the majority of the time. Didn't get up, didn't do much. Was actually in and out of the doctor's office. I'm just FYI, I'm 42 years old. I had an unexpected baby about 3 years ago, and he was a preemie, and I had a lot of health issues along with that. And he was born at 27 weeks. And so that led to a lot of issues for me personally, going through a lot of, different personal issues that I had to go through with having a preemie in the hospital for a couple of months. And I actually continued to decline. And I got to a point where it was very emotional for me, because I was in and out of the doctor's office and physical therapy. And I just kept trying to find out what was wrong. I kept digging and couldn't get to the root of the problem. And I just felt like I kept going deeper and deeper into this kind of lethargy and this terrible pattern. And I ate lots of carbs to help cure my woes. So I definitely turned to carbs, sugars, anything that was kind of a comfort food. And this is the beautiful part. One day I tried several different things. One day, I actually know Riss and Ange, and I knew Marissa personally prior to TikTok and social media, and had been following her. And I saw her drinking this drink, and I'm like, okay, so what's it going to hurt to try it, right? What's it going to hurt? Take a leap of faith. So since I started drinking ketones is probably the most exciting story of my life. I've lost almost 40 pounds in about 3 months, and literally inches of fat, inches off of my entire body. Went from a 3X, almost 4X. I was teetering a 4X into now I just bought my first 14. And so, yeah, I mean, just, you can't imagine, well, maybe lots of you can, the feeling that I had, and I felt so helpless before that. So ketones definitely changed my life. I'm now able to get in the floor with my toddler, and I can play and I can go run outside. And okay, run is a stretch, but I can walk very fast. And I can climb in his, trampoline if I want to now. I wouldn't have even been able to get off the couch previously. So that's huge for me. Now, here's what I'm most excited about that has happened since I've been drinking ketones is not only has it impacted me, but it's impacted everyone around me, my family. My daughter is 17 years old, and she has struggled literally since I can remember in school, and has been bullied her entire life for her size. She's almost 6 foot, wears a size 12 in women's shoe, and she's just always been a larger girl. She has lost 30 pounds in less than 2 months. And inches, y'all, 3 to 4 inches off of her waist. It's just insane. My husband has lost almost 30 pounds. He's gone from a 36 to he just bought a 33. And that's been in less than 2 months. So again, there's so many people. I can't go into every single story, but there's so many of my family members and friends that have been impacted in a positive way. So what I'm most excited about is changing people's lives for the better. And that is exactly, if I can help one person get off the couch and be part of their family, then that I've served my purpose. So that's my story.
I love, like, honestly, you nailed your story, Melissa. Like, what I heard you say is that you couldn't get up off the couch. You struggled. You had a lot of stuff happening in your life that, you were in and out, not feeling your best self. And then what I heard you say, you guys heard that, right? Then I heard her say she's getting up off the couch. She's playing with her kids. I actually know your story, so I know more of it. Like, you were able to choose healthier foods. You weren't eating out of boredom, right? We talked about your story. And then did you guys hear what she said? She wrapped up the end. Is what she's most excited about is that ripple effect it's had on her daughter and her husband and all the stories she's hearing about the product. So I love it. And just the thing, Melissa, if you're open to a suggestion on your story,
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Keep telling it, because the more you tell it, the easier it comes off your tongue. The more it becomes just a part of you and who you are. And it just gets smoother. I mean, smoother and smoother and smoother. And someone once told me the more people you get to hear your story is the more people you're going to get to drink ketones. The more people you get to hear your story, the more people you share it with, the more people are going to want to share ketones with you, right? So, and you and I were talking, and this is never about sales, you guys. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And I just want to say that it's how many people can you get to hear your story, right? How many people can you remember Melissa's story and get them to hear that? Be a collector of stories. And that's why we do these little shares. But Melissa, thank you. I put you on the spot today. I called you really last minute, and you're newish. And I don't think you've ever shared your story. So I just want to say, awesome job. Keep doing it in that format. It's going to get easier and easier. It's going to flow, and you're going to, like, your story evolves and changes, right? So since I, and what I'm most excited about, nailed it. Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Real quick, remember how I said you can also do your story as the business story, right? It doesn't have to be about the product. How many of you needed this business more than you needed the product? Me. Like, honestly, I did. I needed the business more than I needed the product, and I needed the product pretty darn bad. Okay. So that says a lot, right? How many people are looking for people to join your team? How many people are looking for people to do this with you? Well, let me tell you, if you can get really good sharing your business story, that's when you're going to nail it. So Riss, are you on here?
I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you. I kind of put you on the spot too, kind of last minute, but you've only been doing this a couple months and I know your story. So could you just lay it out in that format for people, your biz story before I, since I, and what you're most excited about? And thank you. You look awesome, by the way.
You're welcome. Jody texted me 2 minutes before this live and I was like, the one day I don't put on makeup, you text me to do this. No, it's fine. So I'm going to make mine quick. Before I started promoting ketones, my mortgage was on deferment, and I was about to lose my house. Since I started drinking or started promoting ketones, I now just took my mortgage off deferment. My kids are playing sports again, and I am starting to, this is huge for me. I don't know if any of you like know me personally and like know the things that I like talk about besides ketones, but I just ordered my dog's raw food again, because it was way too expensive for a little bit when I wasn't, doing very well financially. So I had to switch back to kibble, and that was heartbreaking for me. So I finally just ordered them raw food again. I'm so excited. What I'm most excited about is to get the hell out of this house that I had to put on deferment for my mortgage. It's a lemon of a house. It's a house that has been falling apart for the last year. And I cannot wait to be able to get into a house that is not only safer for my kids, we're on a really busy road, but has more space. So that's a huge thing for me. There's so many things I could say, but I know a lot of people resonate with that specific part of my story. So that's my business in 60 seconds.
I mean, I love it. I saw the dog lovers. I saw Melissa right away going in the chat going, oh my gosh, I heard that. But like, yeah. I think it's so powerful. Before I joined this business, before I started sharing ketones, you guys heard what she was talking about, financial struggles. And they can be little and they can be big, right? Get your story so you can rattle it off like this. Like if someone says, and I have different variations of every story, but if someone asks me for a business story, I can go like this. Hey, before I started sharing ketones, I had to call my church and ask them for scholarships for my kids to go to church camp. Since I started sharing ketones, oh my gosh, I was able to send all 3 of my kids. And what I'm most excited about is I paid for other people's kids to go to church camp because I started sharing this. Like I've got these versions I can just keep rattling off. So that's my little homework assignment. I don't think I'm supposed to give you homework. That wasn't part of my duty tonight, but I don't care. You're going to get some homework. I want you to practice your product story. I want you to practice your business story. I want you to practice your community story. The community story is more powerful right now in this world than anything else. That's just how my heart feels right now. But talk about it. Take a screenshot of this Zoom right now and put it in your stories. Before I joined this community, I'd never met people like this. Since I get fired up every Monday night, what I'm most excited about is the energy that these people bring to my life. Do you notice how I just told the story in 20 seconds in that format about our community? Someone's going to see that and say, I want that. I want that. Can I get an amen? So practice, 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 keep it rolling off. Carrie, I'm going to toss it back to you. I am drinking Mexican ketones. Throw it back to you because I have no keto up. If anyone has keto up, text me. I will just Venmo you, whatever. I'll give you a kid. I don't even care at this point. Just let me know who has some keto up. I just need the keto up. But thank you, Carrie.
You're not a junkie at all. So thank you so much for that, Jody. Yeah, so much. I actually drank my very last keto up today because I was just sitting here on my desk and I knew I had to have it. But before we go on to our next little module here, Jody had mentioned it. If you dropped it in your chat, I want to see 2 things from you in the chat. Number 1, how long have you been drinking pure therapeutic ketones? How long? Drop that in the chat. Also, if you're drinking one now, what are you drinking? What's in your shaker cup? Or what was the last one you drank today? I want you to see the diversity in time. 14 months, Maui Punch, True Passion, 3 months, 2 weeks, a year. Some Hibby Libby in the house, 11 months, 9 months, 8 months, 2 months, 19 months, 8 weeks, 10 months, 4 months, 10 months, 18 months, 4 years, 4.5 more. Like, look at that. Like, remember what I said at the very beginning? Like, this is 4 years and 1 day for me. Like, if you would have told me this is where I would be with you in your house, in your bathroom, in your dining room, wherever, like, what a gift this is. Jody's absolutely correct. I wouldn't know her if it wasn't for this community. We wouldn't be able to have the friend conversations that we have because of the time that we've spent together. And so the next person that's going to speak with us tonight and just drop some magic knowledge on us and give us some high directive and let us know some of the great resources that are available for you to plug into. Now, you've seen some proof at Teslas. We all know what a Tesla is, right? Like the car you plug in the wall. Jody's like, I'm stuck in traffic, but I don't have to pay for gas. Like if she says that to me one more time, I'm going to take my gas guzzling, little Toyota and drive it off a cliff. But, the Tesla doesn't work unless you plug it in. Teslas don't work unless you plug it in. Your lamps don't work. Your computer doesn't, your phone doesn't. All these things don't work if you're not plugged in. But also, have you ever tried plugging your phone in the dark? Has it ever fallen out of the outlet? You ever had Dara, has that happened to you? Andrea, Melissa, Pipiano, has happened to you. It's happened to all of us, right? You know how we're just like trying to figure it out? But what if there's a spotlight? And so Miss Jamie Hill from South New Jersey is going to come on and share with us some really great places and opportunities for you to plug into with a spotlight over you with a giant helicopter going, go right here. So Miss Jamie Hill, my work wife, one of the most gorgeous people in Prove It across the community. What's up, mama? Come drop some knowledge on us.
Oh, I love you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Y'all look sleepy. I don't even see eyeballs anymore. Y'all are down there texting. You put your phones down. Listen up. No. Put your books down. Have y'all been JM3 yet? Like, do you know what that is? No, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. Okay. So Carrie is absolutely correct. But before we get into that, let me introduce myself. My name is Jamie Hill. I am here in South Jersey, New Jersey. Feels weird to say South New Jersey, but that's fine. So over here on the East Coast, it is 9:30 at night. I am a mama of 2 girls. They are 3 and 4 now. I just started homeschooling. Holy smokes. It is a whirlwind over here. Thank goodness for this. I have been drinking and sharing this product now since April of 2019 and promoting since September of 2019. It took me 5 months to say yes. And oh my gosh, if I could go back and just smack myself. Anyway, thank you, Melissa Butler, for believing in me. So anywho, live down here with my husband, my 2 daughters. We got all kinds of animals. You know the thing. I've dropped 55 pounds. I didn't know I needed this community, and Jody nailed it. This community is everything. This is the thing I never knew I needed, right? Not a clue. I was like, sure, I'll drink it. Sure, I'll get it for free. Cool, $200 a month. I have none of my bills on auto pay. I got no idea what I'm doing. I got red numbers in my bank account. Oh, Lord, I need some help. So this has just been tremendous for me. So I'm just super excited to know that we are just getting started. And oh my goodness, 2.5 years in, guys, it's just going to be incredible where this goes. So here we go. This spotlight that we're talking about are calls to plug into. We're going to start with the calls, and then we're going to talk about the events that you can plug into, okay? So number 1 is calls. Number 2 is events. I am going to rapid fire off these calls because they are on a calendar for you on Better Starts Here. So calls are super important because if you're not available, you still have the ability to plug people into those calls. So if you are on the soccer field, or you're in the pickup line, or you're grocery shopping, all this amazing community that supports you, and we're this weaved nest for you, we're having these calls and doing the work for you. Plug your people in and let the magic happen. Gonna be totally honest here, people who I plug into calls actually like and prefer to hear from people they don't know. They don't see their faces. They're like, I don't know these people. So like, I have to believe them because it's not just you barking at me, right? So there's power in calls there, guys. So I'm going to start very quickly. Again, that's in Better Starts Here. Monday, we had the Huddle call this morning at 11 Central. If you were on Michael's Huddle call this morning, drop a 1. He used something today called limited language and limitless language. And holy smokes, that was a game changer. That's something all day long. I feel like people I talk to or I hear, I'm like, oh my goodness, what limited language. If we all just spoke the things that were just manifesting in our brains, we would change the world. We are changing the world. The world is changing because of Prove It. So that's a huge takeaway I took from the Huddle call, guys. Michael said, make this a muscle. Every Monday, 11 a.m. Central, plug into this call. So tell Siri right now, Siri, set an alarm for 10:45 a.m. Central. Remind yourself if you're working. He said it in the other call. Go to the bathroom at work for 20 minutes and plug in. He said it himself. I'm just repeating what he said. Next up is 11 a.m. Central on Wednesday, our how to invite call. Okay. So we have this call where we go through high directives on how to invite. How do you invite? How do we get people into a call? What is the verbiage? How do you speak to people? Plug into this call to do action hour like things to invite to the call, which just so happens to be later that evening at 7:30 p.m. Central. So you're going to learn how to invite, you're going to go invite, and then you're going to plug them into that call that very same day. So next up is Thursdays, new promoter trainings. This is like the home run. So you have people who are joining this business. Now what? Right? Luckily for you, this amazing weaved nest that we have, again, that I've been talking about, does new promoter training for you. So you're a new promoter, you get your phone rings, you're like, this is amazing. Oh my gosh, what do I do? You plug them in Thursday to that new promoter training. That again is 7:30 p.m. Central, where they're going to see different faces. If you're not sharing, if you're not on that call, other people have it handled. Plug your people in. They will be absolutely amazed for that. We also have our Prove It Promoter group on Facebook. Go head over there if you are not on that yet and get in there, because we have the live weekly trainings by a top prover in the company every single week. So I know I flew by that. Carrie, thank you for scribing. I hope y'all picked something up that you're like, oh, I could try to do that, once a week. But the importance and the fact of the matter is the calls will go on. Plug people into those calls to feel this energy, to feel this love from my screen to your screen, right? If they're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, I hope that they get on. This is the spotlight. This is saying, plug your phone in right here to this outlet and the magic is going to happen. Guaranteed. So the easiest thing you can do for your Prove It community, for yourself, for your business, is plug in yourself. And if you cannot plug in, you got a lot of things you can plug into, I am sure. Plug people into those calls 100%. Lean on the community to carry you through. Good. Everybody awake? Are we still here? I don't know. I think we're sleeping here. Okay, we got a couple people who are excited. Awesome, because next we're going to switch gears and talk about my most favorite thing in the world, which are events. If you have been to an in-person Prove It sponsored event, drop a P in the comments. I just went to my very first one, okay? Very first one, 2.5 years. I was born like a COVID Prove-Iter, so I just got to experience more for the first time. If you have experienced a mastermind, drop an M in the comments. Okay, look at all these M's. We got P's, we got M's. If you have attended a virtual event, drop a V in the chat. We're going to get all the consonants here, right? Awesome. V for victory. I love that. Guys, how amazing is it that Prove It has all of these different ways for you to stay close to the fire? When someone first said that to me 11 months ago, I was like, I have no idea what that means, but okay, sure, I'll be close to the fire. Holy smokes, going to these events, virtual, in person, or a mastermind, you're sitting in the fire and you come out of those events a changed person. I want to go over some of these events with you guys because from here on out, due to the world that we live in today, Prove It has had everything go virtual. So from here on out, every event for the rest of 2021 is virtual from Prove It, which is super cool because that means you can go to all of them, right? So the first one that I want to talk about, guys, and every single one is going to have a mastermind. Is everybody listening? This is like super important. A mastermind is going to be attached to every single virtual event from here on out. Can I get an amen? Since we're doing that, I'm here for it, right? So every single virtual event from here on out will have a mastermind attached to it, okay? So two things. One, you can get yourself to a mastermind, or two, if you can't get yourself to a mastermind, here's your permission to throw one yourself. Call up your friends, your customers, your promoters, invite them over and have an absolute blast doing life with them while plugging in to the spotlight and listening to the event. So the very first event I want to go over is LCD. It is October 7th through the 10th, might be the 8th, sorry, October 8th through the 10th. And the physical mastermind attached to this event will be in Massachusetts in a gargantuan 25,000 square foot McMansion, right? With like 25 people tops. That's it. 25 people. Okay. So you want to talk about staying close to the fire. How many of y'all want to be sitting in a living room with the Keto Dad watching Mitch absolutely inspire every single one of us? I'm there. I'm going. The answer is yes, I am going. Yes. Lindsay's like, girl, tell me more. Yes. Check your pulse. If it has not been pulsed out yet, it will be very, very, very soon. It will be pulsed out. I am letting you know these spots are going to go quick. So if you are on the East Coast or you want to fly for that matter, you can absolutely go. So check your pulse in a couple minutes. If it isn't posted out yet, all the information will be there. It's going to be redonkulous. Okay. Moving on, if you're on the East Coast, by the way, let's get like a little EC in the chat, like East Coast, woo, represent, right? And then I gotta show some love to the West Coast, right? So the it factor, Joseph McClendon III. You want to have your socks blown off of your feet while you have a man literally, physically, mentally, emotionally kick your ass, and he's going to tell you he's going to do that because it's exactly what he's going to do. The it factor is for you, okay? So the it factor is November 6th and 7th, and just in case y'all wanted to be like class favorites, November 6th is his birthday. It's JM3's birthday, and he is doing an event on his birthday for us, which is so amazing. So there will be a physical mastermind, because like I said before, every virtual event has a mastermind attached to it on the West Coast. So where are my West Coast friends at? Who's super excited? Let's get a WC in the chat. West Coast friends, we are not leaving you out. For JM3, masterminds will be held on the West Coast. But again, I cannot reiterate this enough. You can invite friends and family and customers and promoters to your houses to feel the fire that you create for them. Prove It is inside of each and every one of us. And we have that ability to share this and create that fire, create the energy and excitement by inviting people to our houses. You don't need permission. And if you do, here it is. I love it. Yeah, so Midwest peeps, Nick, I don't know, dude. You better check on those Midwesterners. Is that how you say that? Moving right along to Epic. So again, Epic is 100% virtual. The dates have now changed. They are December 10th to December 12th, okay? And this is what we're looking for, okay? So I need all y'all to get super excited about Epic, because as we know, or you don't know, if you've never been to Epic virtually, in person, whatever, drop an E in the chat. I've only been virtually, so I don't know what I'm missing out on in person. I do know I am hyped for a mastermind for Epic, but I also know I'm hyped for like 5 to 10 mastermind houses spread amongst the United States for Epic. So if there are 10 McMansions, crazy estates, homes, etc., all over the US that you can plug into. You can dress up. And did you buy your gala dress already? Good. If you didn't, go get one and bring it to your mastermind house. Have a walkway on the kitchen island. I don't know, do something crazy. Things happen like that when you go to masterminds. You just do it. You play full out, you say yes, and you have fun. So if you have somewhere super cool, Jody is showing you her in Britain looking all snazzy. They just look better and better every time I see them. It blows my mind. Look at her. She's having all the fun over there. So if you live somewhere fun or know of somewhere near you, drop where you live if you want a mastermind house planted somewhere near you, and someone's gonna have to start scribing down all these locations because it's gonna be insane. Like, I'm actually like, where will I go? How will I choose what house I'm going to go to? And if y'all aren't excited about that, you should be, because this is just going to be so special that these little pods are going to be everywhere, just celebrating what we've done this past year. And again, whether you've been here 4 days, 4 months, or 4 years, it's a huge celebration for every single person in Prove It. That means you, Dara, you, Tracy, you, Clarissa, and you, Lisa, all of y'all are going to be celebrated at Epic. And yeah, get those dance moves ready because it is going to be happening. Philly, Jersey, you know I'm in, but let's go somewhere. Like, I want to get on a plane and I want to walk across the kitchen island in my gala dress that I don't have yet. But I'm just super excited. So why are events important? Let's just recap this really quickly. You go into an event and you think you have, oh, I'm going to have an outcome. You come out of those events with different outcomes because you didn't even know what was going to happen to you while you were there. I promise you that. Now, if you go to an event in a mastermind, that doesn't happen, you can come for me personally, but it's not going to happen because y'all are literally going to just be insane and be so full of love and gratitude and want to spread this community, literally shout it from the rooftops to everybody. Your business will absolutely reflect that change. So I don't know how much more I could go on about this, probably forever, but I don't want to go over my time. So I am pretty sure I'm gonna see all y'all faces at all virtual events. Yes, all the masterminds, all the things, and on those calls, plugging in your people for those spotlights. So I'm gonna take my spotlight and I'm gonna shine it back to Nicholas. I believe you're up next. Nick,
What's up? How's it going? This has been fun. You guys are fired up. Mitch is texting me like, wow, how many ketones have they drank today? I love it. How's everybody doing? Good to see all your faces. What's up, Lisa, Sarah, Andrea, Kim? I see all sorts of people on here. This is great. Well, I'm really excited for this call. We do this once a month. It will be the first Monday of every month where we just come together as a team and just bring everybody together, talk about what's going on, have a little training. You'll get to hear from different people. And the goal of it is really just to have kind of a state of affairs where we're at right now at this point in time, and Prove It. What we're doing as a community to support everybody as they get started or maybe continue their business. And at the same time, like what we have to look forward to, the direction that we're going and the events that you just heard about. So I'm really excited for where we're at. 2021 has been an incredible year so far. It's just nuts what's been able to transpire during this time that we're in as the world. However, the fact that there is a massive demand for what we have doesn't seem to, it's not shrinking. It's just growing by the day. And I think what we have laid out over the next 6 months inside of Prove It, as well as inside of just our calls and our events, you're going to see the ability to go after whatever it is you want, right? Whether you're in a challenging spot like Riz shared earlier and not paying a mortgage, whether you're somebody that's comfortable and just wants to maybe level up your lifestyle, or you just want to go beyond free ketones and pay for groceries with Prove It money, whatever that is, like it's absolutely possible. And I'm reminded as I was listening to kind of Jody share about stories and Jamie talk a little bit more about our events. If you really think about it, like we started with some of those stories because that's why we're here, right? I'm thinking everyone on here had some sort of experience with the product or fell in love with the fact that they could help other people, right? And then when you start to hear the stories like you heard, you're just like, holy smokes, more people need this. So the ecosystem of the calls that we have are just designed to help you through that, to support your journey, right? Having a call to just basically give you 20 minutes to invite people to another call that we have where all we do is share stories and talk about what ketones are. Think about that. If all you did was get one guest on that call each week, like you could build this business. What if your challenge was this for the next 12 weeks or however many weeks between now and Christmas, maybe it's 12, maybe it's 16. What if you just committed to have one person show up on that call and then to have 3 people watch the replay, right? If that's all you did, like if that was it, you could build this, right? That would be 4 people a week that are learning more about ketones. You're probably going to sign up 1, 2, 3, or 4 new customers, perhaps a new promoter with our $1 Keto Club promotion. And if you did that, I guarantee you'd be running towards multiplier, right? Your business should start growing. You'd be going from rank 1 to rank 2. Next thing you know, by Christmas, you're hitting rank 4, charging into that COC kind of level. And that's it. That's how it's seeded. Like that's how it's done. So I truly believe that the system that we have put together, the things that we all have to plug into, they work. The question is, are we plugging in? Are we showing up for ourselves and for our business on a daily basis? And that's not a question that I can answer for you. That's only a question that you can answer for yourself. Tonight, before we sign off, and I'm going to make some little bit of training here on social media brief, but before we sign off, I want to talk about some things that are coming, which you're going to be excited about. So I'm going to share with you those here towards the end. Just know that the everything bagel broth that you saw today, was that pretty fun? I mean, that's just the beginning of apparently the other things that are coming this month. I've heard there's other flavors coming. There's other protein coming. I've heard that I've heard for a long time that Keto Up is coming back, which we were talking about earlier. And I've asked, is it coming back? They're like, Nick, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. I've also heard for a while that Unleashed, that's been on summer vacation, I've heard that's coming back. It should be back very, very beginning fall. So like those things get me excited and fired up. They're not necessarily new, but they're missed. You don't realize how much you like something until it's gone. But before we get into that, I just want to talk through a couple concepts and things to be aware, because part of it is, all right, if we just had one person on that call every week, if we just had 3 people watching the replay every week, like we could grow this. And I think the biggest block that sometimes we get into is maybe you've talked to all your low hanging fruit. You called your mom, you called your dad, you called your sister, you called 3 friends. And now you're like, shoot, who do I talk to next? I don't know anybody else. Well, first step, if you're in that spot, is just to pull out your phone, give it to your prove it friend, or give it to your spouse and say, all right, scroll my phone and tell me who I need to text. And I guarantee you right now, if you were in my house, I could take your phone and we could just explode your prove it business just by me texting your friends as you. Hey, are you drinking ketones yet? Hey, what do you know about ketones and ketosis? Hey, have you heard of this stuff I've been drinking? It's amazing. Hey, I found this. It's going to change your life. Have you drank it yet? If all you did was send messages like that, or let me send those for you, guess what? People are going to message you like, what are you talking about? What is this? So just when you think you can't do it, I see Jamie laughing. Just when you think you can't do it or you're stuck, guess what? You're actually not. You're actually, like, it's all right there, right in front of us. The question is, why are we holding ourselves back? What are we holding on to that's maybe keeping us from sharing that? So when it comes to social media, I just have 3 points written down, 3 things written down. And I think these, if you understand them, social media will take care of itself. A lot of times we want to overcomplicate it. Raise your hand if you think social media is easy. If you're like, oh yeah, I'm walking the park, I love doing social media, I'm on it all the time. Posting is easy, stories are easy. Okay. Raise your hand if you're just like, oh my gosh, there's so many different things out there. I don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed. Do I post on TikTok? Do I post on Instagram? Do I post on my story on Facebook? Like, okay, that's most of you. I get that too. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to release from the noise. I want everybody to go like this. Sit up straight, take a really big, deep breath, and then let it out. And then take a deep breath and say, social media is simple, right? Social media is simple because of, it's just like the ketogenic diet. We built our Keto Dad page based upon this saying. It's simple, it's fun, it's keto, right? Why did that work? Why did that attract? Why did that cause people to want to come to us? Because Everybody else was overcomplicating the snot out of this stinking diet. It's not that complicated. Just eat less carbs, right? If you boil it down to that, guess what? It's really, really simple. So social media is actually really, really simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it, because if you realize yourself that you don't have to do everything, if you realize yourself that you don't have to mess up good for perfect, and you just have to do a few simple things each day, it doesn't necessarily matter what you're doing as long as you're doing it. Right? So I have a few simple, like 3 things that you have to do on a daily basis, which I just want you to make sure that you do. And then anything above and beyond that, you consider extra credit for yourself. Right? And a couple things I want you to write down first. Number 1 is attraction. So to create attraction on social media, people have to know you, they have to start liking you, and they have to trust you. So if I go to your social media right now, whatever it is, I don't care what social media it is, if it's TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, would I get to know you? Would I start to like you? And would I start to trust you? Okay. How do I get to know somebody? I have to see you, right? I have to see you, which means this is another one to write down. Are you a consumer of content, or are you a creator of content? It's tough to be great at both. You can do both. It's tough to be great at both. If you're great at consuming content, chances are you're not great at creating content. I always get asked, Nick, did you see that live I just did? I'm like, no, I didn't. But if you want me to check it out, just hit me and I'll check it out. But because I don't I'll spend some deliberate time scrolling and commenting and engaging, but that's it. I don't consume. So you have to make a decision. Somebody told me this years ago, and I made a decision. I'm going to create content. I'm not going to consume. So while you might be scrolling and watching people's lives, I'm doing a live, right? There's a lesson in that. You want to build this business? Well, instead of watching other people's stuff, go do your own stuff. And don't tell me that you don't know what to do. Turn the camera on and talk about your dog. Or I don't know, I've got, what's this? A Bissell spot stain remover. I could do a live on that. And guess what? If I thought it was interesting and amazing, so would you. Just because I told you it was. That's as easy as it is. So don't mess up good for perfect. This wouldn't be perfect, but I'd guarantee if you did that every day, you'd be good, right? So consume more than you create. So no, how do you get known? I have to see you. If I go to your Facebook and I don't see you and it's only shared content, that's somebody else's stuff, not yours. I want to see you. How do I get to like you? If you're positive, you're usually pretty likable. If you're talking about things that you love and you're passionate, you're usually pretty likable, right? No, like, how do I trust you? If you're relatable, I tend to trust you. If you're somebody that I sense is fake, but the moment that you become a little bit vulnerable and you share your life and your story and your victories as well as your challenges, when I see those, guess what? I can relate, and guess what? I start to trust. So from an overall content standpoint, I don't care what platform it's on, whether it's in your story or on your wall, it doesn't matter if it's hitting those areas. Okay. So that's first just kind of awareness to have. Then these 3 simple things that if you do on a daily basis, you've probably heard these before, and hopefully they're going to hit you upside the head and you're going to be able to identify one that maybe you're missing. Is this? It's number 1 is post. Number 2 is grow. And number 3 is engage. Post, grow, and engage. Right? So posting is simple. And I'm just going to talk Facebook here because it's easy to control. You can apply this to any platform. Instagram and Facebook are very, very, very similar. Other platforms you might have to tweak a little bit, but posting, if you post once on your wall every day and at least 3 times on your story, that's awesome. If you're like, Nick, I've already got that down. I'm like, perfect. Well, then let's post twice on your wall. And how about 5 times on your story? Right? So, and what do you post? Well, those things that we just talked about. We have whole training on that. I'm not going to go through right now. I just want you to kind of understand the basics. Remember, it's simple, because if you're the one that rose your hand and said it's too complicated, that means you're thinking too much. You just need to keep doing growing your network on a daily basis. Now, this piece I think is really powerful. It's probably the most simple to control on Facebook. However, you can you can do it in other areas, but think about this. If you just added 3 to 5 friends a day for the next 6 months, how many friends would you have after 6 months? I don't know, somebody do the math on if you just added five friends a day for the next 6 months, how many new friends would you have? Right? It's not complicated. It's not rocket science. It's almost 1,000. There you go. Like it would just grow, like it works. Now, if you did 3 today and then none for the next week, and then you did 10 and then none for the next 4 days, and then you did 3 and then none, like then it just doesn't work as well. But if you do it every single day and you just make it a habit, add friend, add friend, add friend. Oh, there you go. Don't just add random strangers. Go find people that you like, people that like you're attracted to, not physically or anything like that, just people that you would be friends with. Who would you like to hang out with, right? If you do that, you'll start to have a tribe of people that are just like you. If you have kids that play soccer and are in dance like I do right now, my 5-year-old had dance class, my 8-year-old had soccer. If I go join some soccer parent groups or some dance mom groups, guess what? I'm going to have a lot of people that are interested in my life. And when they come, and because I'm posting things about me, they get to know me. I'm super positive and likable. They start to like me. They can relate to the challenges that maybe I have with my children who won't go to bed at night. That now all of a sudden, when I post about ketones, they're saying, hey, what is that stuff? I need some of that too. I need happy daddy juice or happy mommy juice. Okay. The last piece is engage. And engage is just engage with your people, right? If somebody leaves a comment on your post, go comment back. If somebody said to you, hey, that's a nice shirt, and you were in public, you'd probably say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But for some reason on Facebook, when somebody says, hey, I love that, we just kind of let it be there. Well, I mean, that just goes without saying. If they comment back. If you spend now your time where you're scrolling content or you're consuming content, I give you permission to consume some content for a set period of time. Either take your hourglass and turn it over, right? And then allow that time to elapse. And then that's when this is actually something that I use if I have somebody that I can't spend too much time on the phone with, who I know I might spend too much. There are people like that, but you have to also learn how to protect your time as a leader, right? So, hey, I've got 5 minutes and I'm excited to hear what's going on. Let's chat. But this right here, either it's on your cell phone or you go buy this on Amazon like I did, and you set a timer to go engage with other people's stuff, people that you would like to become friends with, people who are sharing. And guess what? You actually get to engage, you get to have conversation, you get to dialogue, right? The other piece of engagement is actually using that thing called Messenger and messaging with people, not to sell them ketones, but just to check in. Hey, what's happening? How are you? Haven't talked to you in a long time. You see their story. The best way to do that is on people's stories. You can click on their story and then you can write a comment about what they just posted. It's real time. They just posted that. They're excited about it. Now you're asking them a question or you're engaging in it. That goes straight to Messenger, and boom, that leads to so many conversations. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you. There's this girl, Courtney Harris. I went to kindergarten with her. She and I grew up through the same school. I haven't talked to her in 20 years, 22 years. And for some reason, she popped up on my Facebook and I commented on her story. Next thing you know, we're in a conversation. Like, it's just the most random thing, but it works. Like, it's how it's done. The question is, like, now that I've said these things, post, grow, and engage, on a scale of 1 to 5, on each of those, post, grow, and engage, where are you? Right? Where are you? Are you a 5, meaning you absolutely smash it? Are you a 4? Are you a 3? Are you a 2? And then the biggest thing is, for each of those 3, what's one thing that you can do to move the needle one direction? How can you go from a 2 to a 3? How can you go from a 3 to a 5? I don't need you to go from a 1 to a 5. I just need you to get started. Right? Because if you do that and then you're consistent at it, next thing you know, 5 years later, you're an absolute social media rock star and you're crushing it. Right? Like, that's how it works. It isn't rocket science. The where we're at today with the Keto Dad page was born from about 1,800, or it's 18 months. How many days is that? 18 times 30. That's a lot. So 600 lives. I did 600 lives before somebody enrolled as a customer from our page. How many lives have you done? Now I do a live and we get a lot of customers, right? But it took me 18 months to figure it out. So the secret is doing what I just told you in the last 5 minutes, relentlessly, persistently, consistently, with an amazing attitude and an amazing, like, hey, I'm attracting people. They're out there. It's amazing. The people that are showing up in my life and my business, everybody around me wants ketones. I tell myself that every day. And guess what? They do. They do. If all you hear is, all I hear you say is they're expensive, or I'm getting all of these objections, that's the story that's going on up here. We got to shift that story. Mitch can help you with that on the next call. The last thing I'll leave you with is combining the worldwide social media, which is kind of this virtual community, with your on the ground belly to belly community. Okay, it's a big miss for most people. And Dustin Schaefer and I were having a really great conversation about this at More. And he's like, Nick, if I would have known this 5 years ago, I'd have twice as many Facebook friends, and like it'd be way different. Because Dustin is masterful at just talking to strangers. I am not, but Dustin is. But one thing I am good at is having consistent conversations while I'm out. Right? Raise your hand if you've talked to a new person in the last week. Like somebody you didn't know, you had a conversation with them when you were out, like in-person conversation. Okay. Keep your hand up if you added them on Facebook, if you're now Facebook friends, or you now both follow each other on Instagram. That's great. All right. If you didn't do that, like there's a clue, right? What if everybody that you met when you went to the gym, now you just friended and you became buddies? What if everybody that you had a conversation with in the parking lot outside of a grocery store because they asked you about your shirt, they asked you about the decals on your car, now is a Facebook friend, and now you're able to dialogue with them? Guess what? Now you're utilizing what you're already being consistent at, your attraction method, where they're getting to know you, they're getting to like you, they're getting to trust you. They're going to get to know you more. It's almost embarrassing because I go to the gym now, and because I've done this, people at the gym, they all know me. Because I'm an awful consumer of content, I don't know them, and then most of them just don't post. But they're talking to me about my life, and they feel like I'm part of their life, right? Why? Because we connected on Facebook, and then I also posted every single day, and then I engaged when there was their content up. I started to engage in it. So if we take those simple concepts around social media, I guarantee that there is never an end to the number of people that you can talk to. Like I always get inspired when I walk my neighborhood, because I know I haven't done a great job of talking about ketones in my neighborhood when I can only name 4 neighbors that have bought ketones from me, and there's 29 houses on our street. Right? Now, those people will see ketones from somebody else, and it will be validated because they'll say, oh my gosh, this car that says ketones drives across me or by my house every day. Is that the company you're talking about? They're like, oh yeah, you should go mention to him about it, and he'll tell you how great it is. And guess what? They just brought ketones because somebody shared it with them. Same thing. I sit on my deck and I look, there's all these houses around the lake that we live on, and none of them are drinking ketones. Like it's just, they're not. We've been doing this for 6 years. Think about this. Prove It will do, I don't know, maybe $400 million, $500 million in sales in the 2021, right? That's a massive company. Like that is not a small company. That is a large, there's probably less than 20 or 30 network marketing companies in the world that have kind of reached that level of volume. But if you go talk to people, no one's heard of it, right? No one's actually heard of it. So the opportunity is so immense, especially right now with what we have going on, that if we all use these strategies, anything is possible. So for the rest of the month, I know we've been on here for a while, and I'm fired up that 90% of you are still here. Awesome. Kudos to all of you. We have a lot of stuff coming. My best piece of advice is just stay tuned to the Pulse. And know that each week there's probably going to be something fun coming out, right? They have so many different things whether it's, I think Keto Up's coming. I think there's some Unleashed coming. There's probably new flavors of ketones coming. There's probably new flavors of protein coming. We just had the bone broth today. And this is September. We only have like 2.5 weeks left to September. So be ready for it. How do we be the most ready? Is we have the most new conversations. Because anytime we have something fun, anytime we have a new flavor, it creates the ability to have the conversation. I love the fact that we had broth today because I got to talk about the broth and it caused more conversations to happen about ketones. We didn't have the broth and I just went live and talked about, hey, buy your ketones. Well, I've said that a million times. The broth gives me something new. If we have a new flavor or a flavor release of ketones, now we get to talk about how much we like this flavor. Guess what it does? It creates the ability for you to do some marketing, which will create more attraction. It will stimulate conversation. And if you're having new conversations, now those people get to see it. Now those people are like, oh, I got this. I want to try it. I see it now, right? They may have been watching you for 18 months and now they're raising their hand because some random flavor that they're like, oh, that sounds interesting, but they end up buying a challenge pack. Well, the purpose of the flavor was to create that conversation and that little bit of a buzz. So keep that in mind. The other thing that I really want us to keep in front of us this month is the $1 Keto Club promotion, right? And I think it's something when we always like fear of loss and urgency. When it was 2 days, we did more $1 Keto Club offers in 2 days than we did in the last week that it's been extended. That's interesting. First 2 days, we did more than the last, like literally the last 9 days. Why is that? It's because there's urgency. There's fear of loss. All of a sudden you extend something for a month. We go, oh, it's okay. We're good. We almost forget about it. It's out of our language, right? But if you have that same level of urgency and focus and excitement around, oh my gosh, it's $1 to be a promoter when you grab our brand builder pack and you get the brand builder pack at 40% off. It's the best, amazing package deal ever. Right now, we should be Rubik's cubing people, meaning explaining to them and helping them see how, if they grab that pack, they can make their money back almost instantly, be in profit mode, and then go on to hit Go Pro and Go MVP and start building this business. Like that's the power of that pack. If we're not having that conversation with everybody that's getting started as a customer, hey, are you interested in joining? Are you interested in doing what I'm doing? Mandy Mitchell did a great call about that last Monday night, which was phenomenal just in how to language. If you haven't seen the replay of it, go watch it. I'm not going to rehash it now. But if we keep that top of mind, it's going through the end of this month. I will be very, very, very sad when it goes away. But we need to do we'll do a couple extra calls as a community around it over the next couple of weeks, just specific promoter informational calls. Would that be valuable? That you can invite to? Yes, I see a few nods, a few people falling asleep. No one's in bed yet, so that's good. I see a few dogs. Brenda's dog is watching now. He's yawning too. Oh, there's Brenda. I like it. I like it. Awesome. And then stay tuned for those of you that want to come hang out at some of these events and the masterminds that we're going to do. They're there for you. There'll be tons and tons of fun. So I encourage you to get to one or two or all of them that you're able to attend. Details for how to register for that will come out in the Pulse and also in the group. And excited to see you guys, hopefully some of you in person. Also, I'm going to post the schedule of where some of these events are going to be that I'll be attending over the next couple of weeks. I know a lot of you have, you have small Keto Life parties that I'm coming to, and we have some bigger events that I'm coming to. I'm going to post that just so that if you have people in the area, you can utilize those events. So the power of this, and what I'd like to see continue even further beyond just this trip, is as we do events as a community, if I have a person in South Florida and I see that Keisha and Jenna are doing an event there, to be able to say, hey, can they come and learn, right? And then know that that person is taken care of and know that we have like a lot of integrity in how we do things. So I'm going to send that out. If you have people, shoot me a message and they're welcome to come. Anything that's on that flyer that I'll shoot out is invited. And then don't wait for me to come to your area to do a Keto Life party, right? The goal isn't like, hey, let's just run Nick Martinez ragged and make him go travel around the country. No, I'm doing this so that we can all get back into the habit of doing small local environments, small local Keto Life parties, having fun. So start hosting them and invite some people over, send me pictures and say, hey, you need to come to the next one and we'll see what we can figure out. Right. I love traveling and I love being around people. And that's the beauty of this business for me. So thanks so much for being on, everybody. I'm going to turn it back over here to Carrie in just a second. I'm really excited about where we're at in September. I know it's going to be an amazing month. Like numbers wise, we're already like light years ahead of where we were last month. We're probably going to, we're on track to probably have the best month of the year. And this is the launch pad for 2021, right? If you really look at the trends, and if you look at the last 6 years, at least that I've been doing this, there's all of these ebbs and flows in the business. Some months are better than other months, or worse than other months, or better than other months. That's just how it is. However, if there's one thing I know to be true, there's this trend that happens September, October, November. Things go like this. November is always an incredible month. December is I mean, it's Christmas. It's still usually like on par, right? But then what happens in December is the energy that we put into this, right? The seeds that we plant will then come to harvest in January, February, March, and then it ends up being May is always the best month of the year. It's just this crazy cycle, right? Now, knowing that, I know that the new people that we talked to today, the Dollar Keto Club people that we enroll today, will be the ones that are hitting that rank 3, that rank 4, that rank 5, that takes you to rank 6 or to rank 7 over the next 6 months, over the next 9 months. So, Carrie, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Otherwise, I could ramble all night. I guess I'm fired up like everybody else. Thanks so much for being on, everybody. Great to see your faces.
I love it. I love it. Well, as we end here, if you didn't see that story that just happened in the chat, and also can we just celebrate the chat? Y'all have been absolutely fire in that chat. Like if you stepped into every zone with the energy that you have right now, and just live in that, like seeds become sprouts, sprouts become corn, corn becomes chip, chip goes in dips, and chips and dips are just the greatest thing. And so if you want your June to look like a chip and dip, then you start planting your seeds in November and December. That's my biggest takeaway. An hour with y'all. That's my biggest takeaway. Is like, I want to be a chip and dip. I think we should make a shirt. So just in summary, Jody shared with us exactly how to share our story. And one of my biggest takeaways from that was have your story ready. Be prepared. Practice in the mirror. Call your friends. Look to your left or your right on the Zoom. Like find somebody on here that you don't know, message them on Instagram. Like, hey, can I send you an audio, a voice memo on Instagram or Messenger? Here's the pro tip behind that. They can only be 60 seconds long. So your whole story needs to fit in there and just send it to me. I don't care. I'm excited to hear it. If I don't reply right away, it's because it went in my other inbox if we're not friends, but do that. I think that would be a really cool thing. You've got your spotlight. You've got your spotlights now, right? You know when the calls are, it's posted inside the group. It's an amazing opportunity for you to stay close to the fire. We all know eventually we can plug in our phones at night because we put on our braille brain and we're feeling for that plug. Like, why feel for it when you can have the insight for it, right? Why not? Why not? We have upcoming events, these masterminds that are coming up for you to come to. But listen, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to give you full permission to show up as you're comfortable. Give you full permission to whatever your comfort level in your heart with existing in the space around us, with sharing space with people you know or don't know. But my challenge to you is regardless of how you show up, show up. If you want to do it in a 25,000 square foot home, awesome. If you want to do it in front of your computer with your notepad and your Boston Terrier sitting next to you, awesome. That's fantastic. Rhonda chuckled. I got a chuckle out of Rhonda. I win. So whatever it is, we honor you however you show up. But if you're not there, where's your yes paddle, Jamie? If you're not there with your yes paddle, if you're not there being able to celebrate with us virtually or in person or small group, however, I love that there's like chip dip conversations still happening, Kim. Like this is everything. If you don't show up, we can't celebrate with you. I'm showing up virtually. I don't know if I'll go in person. I know Epic, we just booked a 2-room suite on the Strip because it's like, I want to do this. I want to do this up. I want to do this right. And that's what we have going on. But stay plugged into your pulse. Also, I'm dropping in the chat right now. Everybody tap this link. Tap it or click it, tap it or click it, and then click subscribe. Do that right now. This is my homework for you. This is our Better Starts Here YouTube page. Every single thing that we do as a community gets uploaded on here. We're at 89 subscribers. Y'all, there are thousands of promoters inside of our community. We have 89 subscribers. So my challenge to you is right now, I spoil my team and send it out to them every single time a video is posted. So y'all, y'all whatever. But go on there, click subscribe, get that information, because Matty V is a wizard. He is the wizard behind the curtain. He runs the Emerald City that we get to plug in here. I'm all down for analogies and allegories today. And it's just a fantastic tool for you. So Facebook group Better Starts Here, YouTube channel, subscribe, and then watch them. If you feel like you need to go watch an episode of something, go watch one of those. You want to be better at sharing your story? Go watch Melissa Butler do a presentation. Go watch Jody Scheibe do go watch the ones from Arizona that we did back in April. When we had Scott D. Henry and we were all in that big room. Remember, Jody? It was crazy. And go watch those. Go watch something that's going to feed your future instead of just keeping you here in the present. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are a rock star. And if you love this energy that you have felt from this call, you have the opportunity to remember this moment as many times as you want. I had Miss Goldie texted me. She's like, I needed your energy tonight. Awesome. You can have it. Here, take it. But now you have an opportunity to perpetuate that, friend. You have an opportunity to remember how you feel right now. When Nick gave you high directive, when Jamie fired you up about the events we have coming up, when you heard Melissa's story, did you feel that? When Rish shared her story about her mortgage off deferment, did you feel that? You have an opportunity to take that feeling and allow that to permeate through your life from this point forward. And then we come back in a month and we do it all over again. So go feed your dogs, go do a dance party, run 10 miles, whatever case may be. Hello, dyslexic, what's up? And if you're on a journey to better, because you're here, I can't wait to see how better continues to show up for you. So keep flying, keep vibing, have a great night, and text somebody that wasn't on here and say that you missed out, and you're going to send them because you subscribed to the YouTube channel. See you guys later.